Hey folks, how's it going? This is Seagull here, back with another video about the save corruption issue that's been plaguing The Sims 4 for a while, but got a lot worse when For Rent released. You may know about the spring sale that's going on right now that has deep discounts on a lot of packs, so it's actually pretty good time to get some packs that you may have your eye on, but just can't justify spending full price on. The spring sale, I believe, includes every single Sims 4 DLC except for businesses and hobbies and all of the kits. So, For Rent is among these packs that are discounted. But here's what's really wild. The Sims made a tweet promoting the spring sale, and they gave a few specific mentions to expansion packs, and For Rent is among those. Which is just like, what? It's not like you can't say they don't know about the save corruption, because they do. They even made a statement over a month ago. So that's a really terrible move on the social media team's part. Really, if anything, EA should temporarily take down For Rent from the store, from any marketplaces, until the issue is fixed. Well, if it ever gets fixed at all. Either way, some interesting info has come to light from users' experiences with save corruption that they've posted about on Twitter and on the EA forums. I'll have a thread linked in the video description below from Krinrick that has a lot of useful info as well. So there are a few different ways you could experience this bug. Like if you get a white screen after loading into a world with a residential rental, your save could be corrupting from having a lot of residential rentals in your game. You may run into errors 800 or 801 while attempting to load a lot. Your game may show neighboring lots as their default state or empty instead of what should be there. You may also have specifically lot corruption rather than your whole save being corrupted if you've downloaded a lot from the gallery. And I think this is what happened to me about a year ago with my police station, where I would get endless loading or crashing when trying to load into it. And I hadn't used that police station in a long time. I had it in my game for years that I downloaded from the gallery, but then, I don't know, I somehow managed to delete the lot. I think I got lucky. And then everything was fine. I haven't had lot corruption since that time. You may also see buildings disappear, but then furniture still remaining, just floating there. And if your buildings are disappearing or reverting to their default state, you may see orange exclamation marks or llamas on the map. It's usually a pretty difficult issue to pinpoint the exact cause. It's not mod related. Even if you don't play with any mods installed, you may still run into this issue, but it can be influenced by mods and cheats, especially if you have lots of residential rental units in your save game. So if you have Twisted Mexi's More Rentals mod and actually go over the default vanilla limit of 99 units across your whole save, then you could easily speed up how quickly you run into that. Save game size is also a factor. The larger the size, the more vulnerable the save is, though there are some things you can keep in mind to try and keep the save size down, like avoiding having lots of huge houses with lots of objects in them. Then with photos, I don't mean the ones that you just hit the C key on your keyboard with that save to your screenshots folder, but the ones that your Sims actually take with their phone with various interactions, and then you get the photos in your Sims inventory and you can hang them on the wall. Take those at a minimum. Delete the ones you don't like and just keep your favorite ones, because photos can also blow up a save file size. Avoid having lots of Sims. Well, it's too late for me on that one, but the game does create a lot of Sims, including the randomly generated NPCs that are for roles such as tending stalls. So delete the Sims you don't play with from time to time. And usually there's nothing you can do to stop the corruption once it starts happening. If you do start seeing the save corruption, I suggest immediately exiting the game, because I've heard that save corruption can also spread to other saves if you keep loading other saves within that same session without quitting. I've seen some interesting replies to this thread, including from GirlGamer246, saying, "Today I got an error 801 after the game said it was having issues culling Sims. tried to go through NPC households to find which Sims were supposed to be called, and got the infinite loading screen. When I have time, I'll try to see if I can find a log detailing which Sims need to be deleted manually. I think error 800 is with lots and items, and error 801 is which Sims, but that is just my guess. And then update, I was able to delete the supposed Sims that were causing the issue and reverse error 801. I also had to go through Sims 4 Studio and delete Sims. So that is a free program that you can download that is third-party software. So through Studio, there were blanks of where there should be names of Sims and such. I had this happen in another save, but with lots, and after deleting the blanks, it seemed to solve the issue. I have a bug that I was experiencing before the most recent 801 error, and that was what others had said of the vet clinics and other businesses no longer working properly. So that is another separate but big issue as well. That's pretty annoying. When I travel to the lots, there are no employee Sims. I have not been able to fix this yet. I've definitely seen this with retail stores. I haven't actually gone to vet clinics in a really long time. Though I have been using a mod by Rex that I'll have a link to in the video description below that fixes vet clinics and retail stores. Though with the retail stores, you still need to click on the cash register and hit an open interaction so that it'll work properly. We have another post from user CEU non20 saying that in their game, when they place new lots in new worlds, the game starts deleting lots in the earlier worlds, beginning with Willow Creek. I noticed this because the restaurant in Willow Creek was missing a lot of furniture, though it wasn't entirely removed. This suggests that the game does not just have a limit on the number of lots, it also has a global item limit across all worlds. If I had continued renovating Ravenwood or Nordhaven, the deletion issue would likely have spread to Oasis Springs as well. So we now need to be mindful of three things: lots with an excessive number of items, rental properties, and small businesses. I managed to continue renovations without any major bugs by deleting a large number of rental properties and converting them into residential lots in the save file. We keep testing and see what else I can uncover. At this point, I don't think the issue is related to the Sims population limit. Then we have user Ayo Bro, who actually went up to 141 residential rental units using Twisted Maxi's mod. And all my Willow Creek houses started disappearing when I loaded into the lots. However, when I deleted some rentals and came back into the normal limit, the houses reappeared when I loaded into the Willow Creek lots. That may be the issue for some of you, maybe, but I'm all good for now. I will update you as I replace the rentals I deleted with houses instead. There's this thread from Lunar Brittany on Twitter saying, I've been deleting worlds and seeing pre-made for rent lots leave their data in the save even when the world is removed. So now checking corrupted saves out, I'm seeing a lot of zones that simply have no info attached, which makes me think those are the reason for corruption. So because there's leftover zone data that's never used, it's possible the reasons lots display as vanished is because the unused data still belongs to a lot and simply forces the game to display pre-made lots as defaults instead of the real builds. It's just my guessing though, but so far clearing this is what fixed the display of pre-made lots with someone's corrupted save. So from what I understand, it's possible for save files to get infected with empty zone data that can corrupt lots. Though if you're lucky, you could find that empty zone data in Sims 4 Studio and delete it and maybe rescue your save. It does look like, even though the cause of save corruption isn't 100% consistent, there's a couple of common threads. If you have many big lots, very heavily furnished, or if you have for rent and have a ton of residential rental units, especially if you go over the 99 unit cap, then you're way more vulnerable to this problem. Maybe that's why my save hasn't corrupted yet, even though it's 99 megabytes and I have hundreds of Sims, but I went and counted manually because for some reason there's nowhere in the game that tells you how many residential rental units you have in total, but I have 35 at the moment, and most of the lots that I place are moderately sized or small. Most of the time they aren't really that big and don't go overboard in terms of the furnishing, so I guess that's how my save has stayed safe from this. But I imagine this issue is only going to spread to more and more people as not only time goes on, but as we get more worlds, because then the more worlds we get, the more lots we'll have in our saves, especially for those of us who have every single pack that contains a world. It'll be hard to keep The Sims 4 the definitive, so to speak, Sims game that EA wants it to be, rather than following that sequel model where every few years you get a new base game, when you have this game that's threatening to collapse in on itself with things like the save corruption happening. Plus, you have Inzoi going into early access very soon on the 28th with that creator demo coming out, and hopefully Paralyze will announce a more specific date very soon, because it is supposed to also go into early access sometime in 2025, though I don't think EA is actually scared of competition at the moment, as much as I would love for Inzoi and Paralyze to bite a huge chunk out of EA's Sims earnings. I wonder if they actually do fix it, it'll be something more than just, okay, we fixed the bug. Because what if they had to do something like with the older Sims console games that had a fire meter mechanic where if you place too many objects on your lot, then a fire would start and it would burn down some objects and then make you go back down below that limit. Like, will they have to do something like that where they have to enforce more strict limits? I don't know. I really hope they don't have to do that. But I am starting to wonder if that is also why this issue has been sitting around for so long, that they'll have to develop some mechanics to set stricter limits on the amount of lots and objects that you have in your save files, and that would be more than just incompetence or that it is a complicated issue to begin with. But that's all I have to say for now, so feel free to let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and be sure to subscribe if you'd like to keep up with my latest gaming content. I will talk to you all later, and have a great day. Thanks for watching.